Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, everybody.
To an up close and personal.
Yeah.
Title talk.
A little scene change here. A little, wow, we're up in your space.
Little bubblehead.
Right?
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Thursday Morning Title Talk. My name is Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are coming to you live from our office studio here in Palos Heights. It looks a little different today because we are doing a
little
remodel, right?
Yeah.
Where we're going to have some fun and exciting changes where we're going to be doing some different backgrounds and kind of bringing some more fun and changing some things up for you guys. So looking forward to showing you guys that and kind of bringing
Just
that.
not.
Yeah.
This view is a lot for the world.
Amy's a little intimidated by the up close and
my
personal
own
thing,
face.
but hey, we're here, and you guys are here joining us today, and we
Thank you for joining us today.
We've got a lot of big things going on. We've got a lot of things just happening here in our industry and even just in our office. Thank you so much for turning that bad boy down.
Of course. That's what I'm here for.
So we have we're going to be taking Title Talk on the road today.
We are.
We're going to be doing our Inspired...
In the rain. It'll be fun.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, it's indoors.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
We are doing our Inspired Title Gives Back today, so we will be out, and we'll talk about that a little bit for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to share and bring some smiles and happiness to some folks today, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But why don't we do our kickoff here? Now we'll give you guys a little bit of just some insight to title and talk a little bit about title.
Because this is
where
Title
everybody
Talk,
else...
I know, this is where y'all tune
This is
out.
where everybody goes,
Wake up!
Hi. Thanks for joining us. Come back in about 20 minutes. We'll have more fun.
In about 15 minutes, the fun will continue.
Yeah, don't miss this fun because there's more here to be had. I promise you. But last week we talked about some of the terms,
the definitions
things, right?
and the terminology.
And I had a client mention how helpful that was, based on the fact that she's not ever heard like you had said, the PITI.
Yeah, that's the one I've never...
Some of the things referencing the loans, they don't necessarily relate to all the time. And really, the industry, as we know it, we're blessed having some younger folks in it.
Yeah.
And we have now started to hire some younger team members. And as we've been doing that, they're not familiar with a lot of the terminology. And they don't necessarily understand some of the old speak.
And I love teaching someone that's green.
Right.
Like, there's something really cool about having somebody who... And Britt, actually, like, she had some of the knowledge because, when we actually hired her, we found out that her prior job, she had done, like, searches on the Recorder website. So, like, when I first had the Recorder website, she's like, oh, yeah, I use that for something. So it's cool that, like, she had some knowledge, but she was completely green as to what the inspired way of doing things is.
It's cool. And when we start just speaking some of the terms and talking in a specific lingo... The younger folks they don't relate to that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to help out and maybe answer some questions that we often get that you guys might be thinking about. So these are our Title Talk questions for Thursday.
Yeah, and I think part of this was just because buys and sells are... I feel like the refinance market was huge, like when COVID started, and now I feel like we're seeing more buys and sells. So I think it would just be kind of cool if you're thinking about doing that, if you're wondering about any of these questions, to kind of help you out with it.
Yeah, there's so many people and you rely so much on your professionals and your realtors and your attorneys that you don't have to think about it. But why not be a little bit more educated on the whole process?
Yeah.
And what is our role in that process? And as much as maybe you don't think about it, our role is probably the biggest. Because we truly are issuing an insurance policy on your property that you're buying and or telling you guys what's been going on in the history of that property. And maybe there are some things that you didn't know and maybe you don't want to buy it because of some of these skeletons that are in the closet, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And, every week we go from Thursday to Thursday, and every week there's a
something
that haunts Amy in the interim, going, we got to talk about this in the next title. What a great idea!
But it's good.
It's
the stuff that I'm facing day to day that I'm like, people should know about this. People should hear about this.
It's not the same every single day. There's moving things that happen.
And I feel like as time changes, like this changes.
It's
something that is continually evolving. So
no question.
That's why Title Talk will be with you you until the end of time.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I am the end of time. Okay, so why don't we start out with a question that is often asked, and it's really about the cost.
Yes.
How much can I expect to pay for title insurance?
This is a state-based question.
That is very true.
If you had asked me before we were licensed in Indiana, I would kind of think it was just a one-and-done kind of thing, but Illinois is not a regulated state.
What does that mean?
So what that means is that a title company kind of determines the cost of policies. Now, we're underwritten by First American and Fidelity, and they have rate cards.
Yep.
So we base all of our fees on them. They don't force us to do it, but we always kind of thought that that was the fairest way to charge this. And what the crazy thing is now, we're charging, it's usually around $1,600. Like 13 to 2,500 is like the range that it usually is.
Yeah.
So what the crazy thing is you start hearing these people that are charging $4 for title insurance,
Yeah,
and like
it's nuts. It's cheap.
it's hard. It's hard because we want to keep up with the times, but at the same time, we need to charge this because we pay our underwriters
Correct. A
based
percentage.
on based on that. So Illinois is always it's a little tricky about
Yeah.
fees. Indiana's easy. Indiana's a regulated state, so I feel like it's a lot easier to earn business in Indiana than it is to like find those good relationships in Illinois. But with Inspired, you are paying for a service, and that's kind of why I don't want to say I don't feel bad, because I wish I could charge nothing for all of these things and just give people stuff, but I am hands-on every single one of these files, so I can tell you that the product that you're getting from us is insured for Inspired. Like, it's just...
Yeah. And to kind of add to that a little bit, what the question of what does it cost, when you think about the house and the home buying process, it's a one-time fee
Yeah.
that you pay. Whereas with other insurances, remember, you're
It's a
paying monthly.
Quarterly, yeah.
Right? And if you're talking about paying all said and done, $3,000 between the title policy, your recording fees, and the different endorsements that we've talked about over the past few shows, or that your lender requires and things.
Right.
That small amount of insurance
Protects you from
such
forever.
bigger items.
Yeah.
It lasts as long as you own that home, too.
As long as you are in that house with
Yeah.
your name on that deed, it's good
So
for.
if you stay in that house for 20 years, you've paid that premium one time, it's over. And there are protections that are afforded to you because of that. So I
Right.
think it's really important and really just to understand how it works.
Right.
So the cost, regulated, not regulated, regulated again, as Amy said, it's defined. You can go to Inspired Title, you can go to the John Q. Public Title, you can go wherever. The dollar amount of what the title insurance costs is the same.
It is.
Now you're paying for the service. What's the difference between Inspired Title and John Q. Public Title? Well, we're going to be hands-on. We're going to walk you through that.
You will see me, hear from me, talk to
Yes.
me. Anything title related, I will be your contact person.
As we said, we really, really pride ourselves in going above and beyond for our clients and for the customers.
And
So,
I feel like that's starting to. I feel like it's been like a snowball. Like, I feel
Yes.
like it takes time to prove your name. It takes time to prove your word, and I think it's finally starting to happen, which is a really cool transition that
yeah.
I've been seeing over the last couple months.
We're building a brand.
Yeah.
And the everybody knows Fidelity. Everybody knows First
yeah.
American. Everybody knows the big names. Inspired, oh gee, I've never heard of them. Okay, you're right. But when you say Inspired is underwritten by, also known as, they're the
Right.
insurer behind us. We're an agent for
The big guys.
the big guys.
Yeah.
They have given us the ability to write title insurance policies
On their behalf.
on their paper that they're going to insure the transactions that we do. They're a partner with us on all these things. So we're just an extension of their arm to say, yeah, I mean, we work with First American and Fidelity. So
We have really good relationships with them, actually.
Thank
they
goodness.
they are great. We have really good contact. We have really good.
yeah,
I miss them. We
And I-
used to see them on like a
COVID, yeah.
pre-COVID. It was like quarterly basis. It's kind of harder now. but
What's really great about that is what Amy said, is because we're smaller, because we're friendly, because we're we ask them before we just go do something, that's where a lot of other title companies, they just go do, and then all of a sudden now they're in trouble, and it's like,
sure.
well, what do we do now?
Right.
We ahead of time, when we kind of get something, we look at,
If there's something that makes my stomach feel like
it
a little
smells
like,
bad.
yeah,
So
then
we
we'll,
make a call and they direct us. So
Yes.
I think that the cost thing is a small piece for the big picture, and it shouldn't be something that really rattles your cage.
No.
It should be more about,
do you trust the company you're working
right,
with?
what's behind that?
Yeah.
What are the details behind that and getting to that? So I think that's a very
Yeah.
very good question to ask and
I think it's a good
understand.
one. Yeah.
For sure.
Another one is, will you tell me about the exceptions on my property? If so, what are they?
Yeah, this is something we've kind of gone back and forth in
Yeah.
conversation about and trying to help people understand what those are. And those are literally all the liens and encumbrances that need to be dealt with during the process. We let you know if there's any tax liens. We let you know if there are any mortgages or
Judgments
judgments,
or liens.
any open item, building code violations. I mean, there are so many things that can rear their ugly head to dirty
Yeah.
this thing up that we're going to report. Now, are you going to know directly as the consumer? Probably not. Your attorney will find out, a realtor will find out, the lenders will find out, but you have a right to know what the problems are. But what most people in the end come to find out is that it's all cleaned up and it's all
Right.
done.
It's taken care of pre-closing.
So right, you're explained the process at the completion. When you're sitting at the closing table and they're explaining to you all of the items on the policy as
That
to
were-
what
yeah.
were issues that are no longer.
That are then waived at closing.
Correct.
Meaning that you don't have, they will not show up on your final policy that you receive on your home.
Yeah. And I think being and going above and beyond, we detail those exceptions. So it's not, some people will just put them in very generic form
Yeah.
and let the attorneys or let the realtors go figure it out. Amy details it out to a point where everybody knows where they got to go and how they got to resolve it. And if they don't, it's a quick phone call, and you've gotten that question often where
Right.
it's, I see this, but what do I do to get rid of it? How do we clear this up?
Yes.
And most of the time it's with payment.
And I think I started that, like, I feel like when I first started here, it was, I don't want to say completely generic, but it was not as lengthy as title exceptions are currently.
Are you saying I wasn't doing my job?
No, I'm just saying that I think the what's that word I'm looking for? Like the community of the title people have changed.
No, the industry has
thank you.
totally
And
demanded that.
And I think part of it is, everyone's busy. Attorneys are busy.
Right.
Closers are busy. Title people are busy. Lenders are busy. So kind of my thought is the more information I give when I do a title commitment, it's not like I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not trying to
No.
leave anything hanging. I just want to be able to hand you your title commitment and an attorney to look at it and be like, okay, got to pay those taxes. We got a mortgage open, so it's not like, okay, well it says go to look up this. So I just try to give as much as I can, and I feel like it's my job.
One of the things it benefits too for you folks who are realtors is if we get involved ahead of time, you're showing the property or you're about to list the property, engage with the title company, because we'll be able to then tell you what you're walking into. These folks may look like
That was like one
the
of those-
Waltons,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden you go into the title of their property and you go, hey, they're not the Waltons.
We had that
These
weird
folks
one.
are awful.
We just had a really weird one in Indiana that was a lot, that there was a little triangle,
Yeah.
like separate triangle piece on the back of that lot that was where a sewer was. So the people were trying to convey just the actual lot
Yeah.
and not that little triangle in the back. So when I ran the report, I'm like, there's something fishy here. Like there's liens open that's linked to these people trying to sell it, but it's not listed on the contract. So it's one of those
Yeah.
things. And luckily that was one where they asked for like a preliminary search. So that was kind of brought to the forefront before anything was.
I think it's huge. I think it's just very important that the title company engagement for what we do is important. I mean, a realtor can find out right out of the gate that this house has got a lot of issues, so therefore selling it may be really difficult, or
Or
it
that-
may take a lot longer than they think.
Or the price you're asking for won't make sense once all the stuff is paid for.
And that's real. That's a reality, because if the attorney or if the real estate agent are unfamiliar with what's going on in the title, and then they find this out, well, oh my gosh, they've got a tax lien on their house that's $100,000. You can't just walk away from that.
No.
That has to be dealt with. So if they don't have the financial stability to handle that, that house is going to be really difficult to sell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get in now.
It's your right to know that.
Right.
It's public information.
And that's exactly my next point was, just because you have the other professionals handling this, you have the right to know what you're buying.
Right.
You can ask them, hey, was that title clean? And they're going to probably laugh at you and go, why do you care? Well, I just want to know what was on there, because I also want to make sure that it's been taken care of, and to familiarize yourself with that. And if they don't give you the answer, call the title company.
Right.
We will give you the answer. Hey, it's my property, I'm selling it. I didn't know that I had that tax lien on
Yeah.
it. There are a lot of people that don't know that the IRS, you didn't pay your taxes last year, the IRS goes wham, and you don't even know about it.
Right.
They slap a tax lien on you.
Right.
So you may be first hearing about this. And it's a, they're going to get theirs.
And the thing is, it's public knowledge. That's what, like,
It is public knowledge.
I could look
Yeah.
up anyone's address right
True
now.
statement.
I can
True
creep pretty
statement.
good.
Yeah. Ready for the next one?
I'm ready.
Good. Why are separate owners and lenders title insurance policies issued?
Why are separate owners and lenders title insurance policies?
Yeah, ultimately, why is there an owner's policy and why is there a lender's policy?
So there's an owner's policy that is paid for by the seller that is given to the buyer, and there is a lender's policy that is paid for by the buyer or the borrower and given to the lender.
That's great. And that sounds like a mouthful. And
I was trying to
no, you did that
like
well.
throw it in
And
my
I'll try to
brain.
simplify that, saying, as a buyer, you're going to go out and get a mortgage, and that mortgage is going to be, several $100,000.
Yeesh.
That mortgage is now the lender, okay, whoever your bank is, wants to make sure that they're going to be insured and covered in case there's any issues on that title. So you as the buyer are going to pay for that policy on behalf of where you're getting the money from.
Correct.
The seller is going to clear all the issues that they have, if they have any, on their property to convey it to you as the buyer clean.
Yes.
So your responsibility is everything going forward. The seller's responsibility is taking care of everything that was behind them till now. And here's the deed. Here's your mortgage. So the payments of this is a little confusing for some people. I think going, well, I'm the buyer.
Why am I not paying for the owners? It's weird.
Yeah.
It's.
And I'm not. That's not to say that we don't see the negotiations by the parties saying, well, you pay for all this and
buyer
that.
pays closing cost
Contractual
credits,
agreements.
blah blah blahs.
But we're saying in general,
In normal. In normal time.
in normal times, in general, the payments of this is a lender is going to say, I want the mortgage that I'm putting on your property to be insured. So you, Mr. Buyer, will pay for that.
Yes.
Seller is saying, I'm going to give you this property and you're going to give me money. And for that, I am going to make sure that this title that I'm conveying to you is clean and free of any liens and encumbrances. So if they convey that title and it's not clean, the responsibility is really back on them or that
Seller,
policy.
yeah.
So you guys are in the clear with what you're getting, and that's where the attorney intervenes, and that's where we as the title folks look at that with the attorney and go, hey, did you see that one? I mean, that's a big one.
That's
We probably
huge.
should talk about that.
Yeah.
And we do this all behind the scenes prior to closing, so that when you get to the closing table, it's already been kind of hashed out and figured out what the processes are.
The closing is just the period on the end of a long sentence.
Remember, the title company is the third party in this. We're kind of the
Third
intermediary.
wheel.
Yeah, we're the intermediary between everybody, but we have the liability and responsibility because we're issuing. We're the one that is standing
Front wheel on a
behind of what this
tricycle.
is. The front wheel on a tricycle, yes.
Right?
Yes, that's Amy's Thursday analogy. There you go.
I like
Because
it.
without a front wheel on a tricycle, it's a bicycle.
Correct. No. Without
Yes.
a front wheel on a tricycle,
It's a bicycle.
It's a
got two
lawnmower.
wheels.
But it's like two wheels with nothing in front that's dragging along.
Oh, we digress. Go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know where the heck that came from. I thought this was a cool question.
Okay.
What if I'm buying property from someone I know? And I say this is a cool question because I actually bought my first house from my father,
Yeah.
from my father-in-law.
Yeah.
So, because I know the business and because of what it is, it's not that I don't trust people, but
But you can't.
but You can, but I didn't.
Harder.
So like, you know, we went through, my father-in-law and me and my husband went through the entire closing process. I did the title search on my own property. We got an owner's policy. We got a lender's, like we did it all.
Right.
Because
right.
you never know what's out there until you know what's there.
This is true. This is true.
So yeah, I would even in that situation, even if you're buying from a brother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle, a grandma, a grandpa, always go through the entire closing process in the proper way and go get policies. And it's just, I feel like it's the safest
Just
thing to
because
do.
you know them, the risks don't go away.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I mean, you think you know somebody until you don't. And this doesn't mean that because you know them that they are, you know, free and clear of any kind of issues, or that there's nothing that couldn't happen to allow problems on title. So I think that something that would be really, really beneficial is just like going into business with family and friends. You wouldn't do that without some kind of contractual
contractor,
agreement.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
You're not going to go ahead through the process of a family or friend without some kind of contractual agreement, because really what it does is it just protects all the parties. I don't know why you wouldn't do that. But a lot of people, for simple, quick and easy, oh, I wouldn't do that, I wouldn't screw you.
You can't trust me?
And then what happens is we're unraveling it on the next transaction saying, wow.
And then it's a huger, bigger problem.
It's a much larger problem.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger issue because of the things we're not disclosed
reality,
up front.
yeah.
You know, it's a phone call away to find out. We do something what is called a track search, which will just do a general overlay of what's on your property. So if any of you out there want to know if there's been any issues to your property, we can quickly give you that answer.
Yeah.
I mean, we can quickly get a search done, do a little bit of sleuthing behind the scenes, and compile a report for you that tells you, here's what you are, here's what you own, here's the liens that are on your property currently, like your mortgage, and if there are any other things that have popped up, then you can kind of address those and go, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's a thing to deal with. It's kind of like you run your credit report going, well, I didn't know I had that credit card.
What?
What happened?
Right.
There's fraud out there everywhere.
Everywhere.
You're not
Everywhere.
immune to it in the world of real estate and title. As a matter of fact, I think that you're probably more susceptible to it because it is such a money-driven industry. And if there's anybody that's going to commit fraud, it's going to be where there's large dollars involved that can be taken and misdirected.
Yep.
I mean, we see this, and it's something that we kind of cringe on a lot. Yeah, it's something we cringe on a lot. But,
Yeah.
Definitely important to engage the professionals, even if it's with family and friends. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
We have any other questions here for today?
I think that was good. We
Nice.
still have a couple viewers here.
Nice.
We didn't lose everyone.
Did not lose everybody. Well, that's always good. Why don't we just shortly segue into keeping this conversation, but talking about the Masters and things.
Yeah.
And I know that's something that you are very excited about. I mean, you didn't get an opportunity to go last year.
No, I have so we got tickets for the 2020 Masters. Or was it 2019? No, we got tickets in 2019 for the 2020 Masters on the practice round. And then because of COVID, they of course canceled 2020, and then they moved our tickets to today or to yesterday.
Right.
And then because COVID is still going on, it was only 25% capacity. So now, in a perfect world, if all goes according to plan, next year I will be walking the grounds of Augusta. I'm a huge...
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If all goes according to plan, I will be in the Azaleas in Augusta a year from today.
It's such a beautiful place.
Oh gosh, I've never been there. I've dreamed about it. I've thought about it. I wanted to do it. Yeah, golf has been a huge part of my life since the time I was probably 6 or 7 years old. My grandpa was a member at Midlothian Country Club, and we all partook in junior golf.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was the greatest summers ever. It was golf, and then it was swimming, and then it was the magical number that you wrote down that you can get any kind of food you wanted.
Right on. Right on.
So yeah, it's I was lucky enough to go golfing with my dad and my brother and my husband last week. It's just golf is huge to me.
We love it, and I think we love it even so much so that we're talking about, as part of our ITG Gives Back, this big golf outing that we are standing behind, sponsoring, leading, really getting behind.
Yes.
And I know it's very near and dear to you and your family and Joe being your husband. And I think that this was just one of those brilliant ideas that kind of came to fruition through just conversation and my want and will to doing this Inspired Title Gives Back,
Yeah.
and our love for golf and the fact that we played in several outings last year. We started talking about golf, and you throw out that we should have a golf outing, and I'm like, that sounds great. And then it just evolved into where it is.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, every time I talk about it, and I didn't know him, every time I talk about it, I just feel connected, but I feel so excited about what we're doing, and every time you report back with some more growth of the number of people that are going to be involved and exciting opportunities, I think this is great. So why don't we just take a couple minutes before we go into our next segment and talk a little bit about that, and yes, and so why don't you go ahead and lead on that a little bit, and that would be
Yeah,
great.
so the golf outing has been confirmed for Glenwoody on July 24th.
Yep.
Shotgun start is going to be this is the second annual golf outing to celebrate the life of Tim Garvin Jr. So it was my husband's cousin, his best friend, was going to be the best man at our wedding, that passed tragically in an accident, and they had the first annual last year that they put together. It was like a quick put together that a 9-hole thing, still super cool, still super awesome, but kind of my thoughts about going around the
No, it's okay. Take your time.
the thoughts like going around it is, I don't even know what someone would feel like losing a son.
Yep.
And to have to try to put together like an outing like this.
Yeah.
So my kind of thought was to help out the family, to help out his mom, was to kind of take it away from her, but still let her be as involved in it as she wants to be.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's, I think that, and I know that you get emotional around this, and it's hard not to, like Amy said, but we take every day for granted. Everything is moving so fast. Everything is flying by, and unfortunately, God brings us sometimes to these stopping moments, and these stopping moments are sometimes these bigger events that really just make us go, wow. So, Inspired Title saw an opportunity to give back into a family and an organization that we're ultimately going to be donating to on behalf of Tim.
Yeah, Junior, he was a godparent to a kid with special needs, so we're going to be
So awesome.
donating the proceeds to a foundation.
Yeah,
that I'll name later. That
Yeah.
once we get the okay from them to actually say it, the name, and
we'll
all
have
that
them out at
stuff.
the golf outing and everything, and it's if you guys can be a sponsor, if you can put together
We're
some
doing
kind of
raffle baskets or
Yeah.
any kind of way you want
donation, anything
Yeah.
you can do to assist us with making this special, making this great. And we're going to do this annually. I mean, obviously, as Amy said, this is the second. We hope that we're sitting here talking one day about the 22nd, because it's a good group of people. It's a great family. It's a great organization that he kind of worked with, and just the feeling. People are getting hit up all the time for donations. People are getting hit up all the time for this and for that. And I really pick and choose, but yet I wish I can give to all of them. I wish I can step into many of these opportunities, but you just can't. So you take the ones that really impact your life and matter to you. And as you can see, I mean, obviously, Amy, this is very, very near and dear to Amy, and I appreciate her being vulnerable in front of you guys today, and it's something that is really, really exciting for us. And I know she couldn't wait to announce it. I know it's been building like in January when we started talking about what we're going to do. She's like, when can I announce it? And it just kept building and building. And then when we actually released it with the, the save the dates are going to start going out. We're working on some logistics around the letter that it looks like with, what it costs for each whole sponsor.
Sponsorship and foursomes.
Foursomes and all those things. But if you're interested in playing, contact us. You can email us. We're happy to.
Yeah, I think we have like 40 people already that are interested in it. So the spots are filling up.
Yeah.
There's still correct.
Yeah.
There's still a lot. There's still a lot available, but I would say if it's something that you are interested in, get on a list now or get on something now.
I mean, we're talking about 72 golfers is what we're hoping to get to. I think we'll have no problem getting to that.
If you don't golf, you're still welcome to come and hang out with us. We would love to, get a donation from you. We would love to. We're doing raffle baskets and all that fun stuff. Like
tell us your story.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
it's going to be so much more than just golf.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a gathering to celebrate somebody that.
And I appreciate you just taking a couple minutes and kind of talk about that. We went from Masters excitement to tears, but
no, it's good. It's good.
I think it's good for the folks to hear and listen to some realities that are behind the faces that you guys see every week, and we're humans and we're people like you guys too. So this is the type of empathy and compassion and pride that we carry as individuals that really spill over into what we do at work, and really what we challenge ourselves every day at the office. We don't just do title; we do other things.
Oh yeah.
We definitely broaden our horizons. I mean, I challenge these guys every day. What are you going to do to make a difference in the world? What today is going to be the impact for you to make a change?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, some of the feedback that we get and some of the conversations that we have, just absolutely amazing. So we'll leave you guys with that for our title talk part of the day. Yay. So thank you guys for listening in, and now would be a good time for you to get back those listeners who don't like to.
Yes, for anybody who wants fun.
The title talk.
Fun continue.
Now we're back to the fun.
To the fun. Yes.
We take the ugly of title out of it, and we bring in the fun. Speaking of ugly, what happened to your hair?
I know. I got sweaty when I started crying.
Yeah, that's okay. It's all understood, kid. It's all good. But why don't we leave them with our quote of the day, everybody?
Our quote. I'm going with the Tiger Woods quote. He won the Masters 2 years ago, so that's
that Masters theme. Good girl.
Got to do it. Never listen to other people's expectations. You should live your life and live up to your own expectations.
Yep, that's Tiger.
It is Tiger.
That is no doubt.
Tiger.
My quote of the day is either you run the day or the day runs you.
It's deep.
So yeah, today I'm hoping that I'm going to run the day. Yesterday, the day ran me.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was tough, and but hey,
we're here.
Thank you guys for joining and listening and continuing to support us. We just can't thank you guys enough. Remember the golf outing. Reach out to us. Yes. If you want more information about the book, please remember the book. I'll certainly sign a copy if that's what you guys want to do.
Tune in when we're on Facebook Live later.
We'll be back on Facebook Live with that stuff as well. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, my name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are Inspired Title Group, guys. Thanks for joining. Take care.